Right. So, in the previous sessions, we have discussed about TensorFlow, PyTorch, all that. So, different tools, how to use TensorFlow, how to use PyTorch, and all everything. Earlier in my sessions, I have given an idea being into artificial intelligence and machine learning, especially from the technical perspective as well as analysis perspective. I have given those sessions are given to you. If you want, I'll give you the link description below to this video. If you want, you can go and check it. Now, today I'm going to discuss about artificial intelligence and machine learning analyst roles, normally when we are applying. Because now and then, many organizations are transforming uh, the kind of business process or the activities they are having now to artificial intelligence and machine learning using different tools. As I stated now, repeating again, PyTorch, TensorFlow, right? So different tools are we using. In regard to the learning, especially being a AI analyst, a artificial intelligence and machine learning analyst, when we are applying for any job opportunities, irrespective of the technology domain, because I could see based out of experience as and I could see many people are from different domains, right? So you may be of any domain, either you may be in banking, financial services, all that it can be, or else it can be your maybe from the capital market side, or we may be from healthcare side, or we may be from retailing, etc. Right? So there are different domains people will be experienced. So having a domain knowledge is always important and it is required even, so which is acceptable. So domain knowledge that is nothing to do with AI, right? So because even in insurance also now and then we are implementing artificial intelligence. Even in capital markets, slowly importance of artificial intelligence is becoming important. Because I don't say that 100% there will be a replacement, but when and wherever there is an opportunity to identify some business activities which are required in regular intervals, because repetitive business activities, so those kind of requirements can be translated into AI, so that whatever the patterns, whatever the different patterns and as well as suggestions will be given by the system using machine learning. So for this pattern, what decision to be taken? So the system will be taken directly, right? So system will take, the system will give you the result accordingly. Instead of a person doing this, machine will do that. That's where generally machine learning stands for. Means instead of a person is thinking about the kind of problem and providing solutions, system will give you that. So that there are different algorithms for different patterns we have to give using in machine learning. As in when I told you, right? So different PyTorch or TensorFlow, right? So different tools we use. So that automatically it will give us the results. That's what generally AML. So it's happening for any domain. Okay, slowly. I don't say 100%, but slowly some people, some organizations are slowly require some kind of skill sets relating to that. So domain knowledge anyway it is needed, right? So either you may be of any domain, right? So either you may be in banking, financial services, we may be in capital market, healthcare, retailing, right? So any domain, having domain knowledge is always important. That is nothing to do with artificial intelligence, AML analyst roles. Okay, that is anyway common. So you may be of anything. That's not me. The major skill sets or the knowledge one we have required is as follows. I'm detailing few points because this is an instant video I'm making. I may not be covering all the skill sets because there are different skill sets, depends on the company requirement, depends on the industry they belongs to, depends on the years of experience they are looking, depends on the kind of role they are looking for. Whatever the skill sets are needed may vary, right? It will not be the same in all the conditions. But to an extent possible, based out of my experience when I'm teaching, when I'm in this field of understanding and on the part of transformation process of AI, I'm going to provide you some kind of skill sets here, right? So these are the different skill sets. The first one, it's a basic thing, what I'm explaining you, right? So the first one about the Basic understanding over artificial intelligence, machine learning concepts are always important. That is required. At the same time, we must be having some base understanding over the analytics because there are two differences. One is analyst as separate, analytic analytics is separate. Analyst nothing but people who understand the requirement, right? So analyst requirement point of view, problem point of view. Analytics means it is based upon the kind of data that we have taken, what are the decision that we take. It can be predictive analytics, it can be diagnostic analytics. This is all part of business analytics on a higher note you can see. So understanding as well as the familiarity over AML concepts and analytics are the basic things which are required to have a person wants to become a AI analyst. That is point number one. Second, we must be having a deep understanding over the frameworks also that is even needed. Whatever the required frameworks are needed for AML, right? So AML frameworks understanding is also required for a person. Now, in context to the AML frameworks and all, do remember many projects now and then are transforming from old legacy applications to new cloud applications. So any one cloud platform is desirable because I don't advise to have a knowledge over all the cloud platforms. Okay, because we have many, right? So we have AWS, we have Azure, Google Cloud, IBM, right? So there are different cloud services. So any one cloud service understanding is always required because as I told you sometime back, few minutes back, I told you some projects are transforming to the cloud environment. Either it can be infrastructure or platform or a software services that we provide. So a person who wants to become into the analyst positions or who wants to become an analyst roles and all. So they must be having deep understanding over the Azure and AWS to an extent possible. I don't say to the full extent, that is always required. That is what generally you must be knowing. This is also needed. Next, we must be having an understanding over two different things. One is about knowing about AI governance, right? So knowing about AI governance is always required, artificial intelligence governance and all that. At the same time, we must be having some understanding using different tools, right? So about the kind of practice that we are doing, right? So practices in aligning with the compliance standards, right? So in aligning with compliance standard, this is also required. Artificial intelligence, AI governance or practicing with aligning with compliance standard. This is also needed as of now as a analyst positions and all. So senior uh, analyst roles that we have, right? Some kind of understanding over even project management skills or something relating to the agile part because now and then many projects are having an agile environment, agile or scrum framework, right? So having some deep understanding over different tools, something like Jira, Rally, Confluence, right? So these are all something anyway common. So these are all analyst positions so that I am not mentioning those skill sets here because those are all common skill sets which anybody must be good and familiar with. This is always required and this must be knowing. So as an analyst position, you must be knowing about chain management, right? So you must be knowing about how these AI adoption strategies that we are implementing. At the same time, we must have an ability to define the business requirements. At the same time, creating any kind of process flow, and at the same time, optimizing AI-driven workflows, which are crucial for these roles to be attained with, or any stakeholder or chain management skills, followed by any kind of communication or stakeholder engagement or stakeholder management, wherein by engaging with different business leaders, IT teams, or AI experts. These are all anyway common. Hence, I am not mentioning all this here because those are all the common analyst skills which normally one should be good with. Apart from that, I am mentioning you the major points relating to AML. Okay, do remember that point well. So these are the primary basic things. When you want to become an AI analyst, etc., when you want to become an AI artificial intelligence, AI and AML analyst and all, these are the basic skill sets one must be good and familiar with. Next, when it comes to the tools itself are concerned, there were two. One is about the PyTorch, which normally are we using nowadays. PyTorch is one thing that we are using. At the same time, we have one more tool called TensorFlow. Okay, PyTorch and as well as TensorFlow is always required. So those two things will also be needed here. This is also understand. This is also needed. Next, some concepts relating to generative AI. Generative AI is also becoming really important because generative artificial intelligence, AI related concepts, because that varies, depends on the profile to profile. How depth of generative AI knowledge is required may vary. It will not be the same in all the conditions. In the beginning of the session, I told you domain knowledge may vary. You may be from healthcare, you may be from capital markets. So that is anyway that is required. So that is needed. At the same time, whatever the analyst skill sets that are required about the documentation part, those are all anyway that are needed for you. That anyway that must be known. That must be known to the people. Apart from this, these are the major things being into AML perspective, being a analyst role when you are applying for any kind of analyst roles or something that we are applying for. These are the basic and standard knowledge skills, something that we must acquire. Okay. These are all something will be an additional advantage for you. This is what all this video is all about.